Hi everyone, it's me, Moonlight Guidance. I hope you're doing well. If not, I really hope I can help you. This is your reading. And I have a good feeling about this, okay? I feel like this is going to be a solid reading. I'm going to be actually looking at you and your person and sort of seeing what has happened and what's going on. So, you will definitely know if it resonates, because when I talk about what has happened, you will understand. But this is a reading and we're going to see what's happening. If this resonates with you, please don't forget to like, comment down below and subscribe. Let me know. It's a very safe space where you're very welcome, and let's begin, okay? So, you and your person. You and your person, what do we need to know? Okay, so the way in which you met this person, you feel is just like not even a coincidence. You felt like this person came into your life in such a way that it really just turned your life upside down. You felt so attracted and so connected to this person. You were spending time talking to this person. You were spending time going out with this person, or maybe you were just spending a lot of time like talking about things that you would do, places you would go. And I do see some frustration here, because especially with the Nine of Wands, I feel like there is a bit of like an unfinished energy where you would talk about places or things that you would want to do with this person, but it's almost like you've not fully done that. So it's a bit like saying, oh, we'll go here one day, and then you never actually end up going there. Or, oh, we will be together one day, and then you never actually really end up being together. Or, oh, we will have a future like this, and then it never really ends up happening. It's almost like the boat never really fully gets to the destination. For some of you, what I'm also sensing is that you may have started watching a film and you just never really get to the end of it, or you plan for something to happen and it never really happens. Or they say like, oh, are you free on this particular day? And then the plan never really gets set solid for it to happen. Or they say, oh, we should go here on this particular day, but that plan never, again, you kind of don't really end up doing that. There's a very strong energy here of unfinished, unresolved things that just haven't happened, which really frustrate you, because it's almost like you're waiting for that to come to fruition. The brain is trying to make that happen. It's trying to solve the problem. And that's what I see in this situation, is that you have been dealing with someone that says a lot of things, okay? They talk a lot, like they say a lot of things. But when it comes to actually executing those plans and those actions, they somehow fall a little bit short, okay? And they haven't always done everything they promised. And that's the bit that really frustrates you. And that's the bit, especially with the Strength card, it really hits a nerve in your soul where you just think to yourself, why can't I just be satisfied? It's a little bit like being thirsty and having not a lot of access to water, or you get like a few drops of water and that's it. What you need is a full cup, okay? We do have some other cards here as well, and I'm just going to get more here. So with the Wheel of Fortune, you really saw so much potential with this person. You saw a future with this person, and you really felt like this person was your person until you started to see them be a little bit more sort of inconsistent, right? They were inconsistent in terms of things not fully happening, okay? Where you have maybe an amazing time with this person, but then they pull away. Or you want to do something with this person, but they don't really respond. It's been overwhelming, okay? To say the least. Now, the Three of Swords with the Queen of Swords is really significant, because you do feel to a degree quite heartbroken and quite sad that things are in a limbo situation where you feel like this person keeps you at arm's length. They talk to you when they want to talk to you, and if you are too emotional, then they tend to pull away. If you are fun, happy, then they sort of keep you around. But also you find that the less focused you are on this person, the more focused they are on you. And that really frustrates you, especially with the Queen of Swords energy. You find that the more you are, confident in your values and what you want, and you're strong within yourself, you find that this person gets kind of scared of you. But at the same time, that's who you are, right? So you find it very hard sometimes to completely be yourself with this person, because you feel like they're quite sort of impulsive. They always want to do things their own way. They are someone that really likes you being okay with whatever they're doing. And that really hurts you sometimes, because you know sometimes that there are certain values and goals that you have compromised in order to entertain this person or to be around this person, but it's not necessarily you. And so that does hurt you. And especially with the King of Cups, you just feel here that you need someone who is working to become much more emotionally available, much more emotionally intelligent. And you've been really hoping that this person would work to get to this level, okay? Let's see if they will. Let's see if they will work to get to that level of becoming emotionally much more mature, okay? We've got here the Nine of Swords and the Six of Pentacles. This person has like an old self and a new self. Their old self is finding it very, very hard to do so and finding it very hard to be emotionally available, open, you know, all these things. Then they have this new self in them that wants to work on things. So this is someone that is open to working on themselves. This is not someone that's completely closed off and is thinking to themselves, no, I don't want to ever be like this. This is someone that really battles with their emotions. They battle with their feelings. They have a hard time being emotionally vulnerable. They have a hard time being emotionally open. And this, I think, is to do with their past. I also really feel here as well that when things started going really well between you both, they started to really get overwhelmed and very challenged and very panicked. I want to have a look a little bit more into this as to why this is, because they were giving to you and they were being quite balanced towards you, but then something started going wrong, and I need to see what started going wrong, because they do have a few issues and troubles and struggles. Ace of Swords and the World card. This is really interesting. This is their own like internal state that has been challenged tremendously, okay? So the challenge here with the Ace of Swords is the world, and this is their internal state. This is who they are. This is how they are. This is their own way of being. They tend to get really stressed and very overwhelmed internally within themselves. And I really do feel here that a past relationship has made them feel very, very uneasy. They naturally do want to commit, and they do naturally want to have a beautiful, fulfilling, healthy, happy, committed relationship. It's something that they actually want. They want commitment. They want fulfillment. They want joy. They want to feel strong and fulfilled and happy in their life. Like, they really want to feel very, very good and very, very happy in their life. And the one thing that I'm really seeing here with the Ace of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles is the fact that there is a past relationship that has basically made them feel really stressed about having another relationship. So when they started to have feelings towards you, you may have found that things kind of got 80% far, and then the 20% was kind of left unseen. So it's a bit like, you know, if you found that, you know, they were talking about commitment, or they were showing you that they really have an interest towards you, and then all of a sudden they don't have an interest, it's because they would suddenly get very scared. They get to a certain threshold and they get very, very scared because of this past pain and hurt that they've been through in a past commitment where they've been really hurt. They then get really, really overwhelmed, and they start to stress, thinking that, oh no, what if I get hurt again? What if I have another mountain to climb, you know, of hurt? So they basically get scared. So that's what's happening. The challenge here is their internal state. Now, what can be done to help their internal state? So Seven of Cups is interesting with the Two of Pentacles and also the Four of Wands. And the internal state and what can sort of be helped in regards to this entire situation is... it's interesting because it's not about letting them get away with what they've already done. If you really want this person, what I personally really recommend is giving them the space and time to allow them to look at what they've been doing, okay? First and foremost, allow them the space and time that they need. So give them as much as they give you, which is the Two of Pentacles, right? Communicate with them as much as they communicate with you, but don't go overboard, right? Don't be the one running, chasing, and going after them. Allow them to see what their life is like, right? And let them look at things. And then on your side, there are spiritual things you can do. For example, there is a Manifest Your Specific Person ritual that I offer. There's the Support and Consistency ritual. There's the Protect Your Connection ritual. This all works energetically to boost your energy, right? It helps with healing your energies, which then spiritually triggers them to do more towards you. It also spiritually helps the other person to actually work on themselves, get themselves together, get all of their ducks in a row, or should I say, get all their cups in a row. That should be a new phrase. Not ducks in a row. Let's get your cups in a row, okay? Basically, they will start to then get their cups in a row if you do any kind of spiritual work, okay, to the connection. they can start to get their cups in a row, and then they will be able to be much more balanced towards you. Because what I see here is that you don't need to be physically doing anything towards them apart from just giving them what they're giving you. And if they're not giving anything, let's say this is, this radio silence between you both, what I do see is that doing some spiritual work can allow them to come forward. It can allow them to progress towards you. It can allow them to express themselves to you. I also do have an express their feelings to you ritual as well, if you're ever interested. But the moral of the story here is that they actually need to come to you. The thing here is that they need to come to you. And this is what I'm really seeing here. And it's not your fault. Like if you're thinking, oh, I did this wrong, and I did that wrong, and I said this, and I actually think that a lot of this is a problem that they have from a past relationship that they themselves need to figure out and resolve. Okay, so the affirmation for this is they are getting their cups in a row. Comment that down below. That's the affirmation for this reading. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Personal services, readings, items, rituals, everything is on my website, shopmoonlightguidance.com, and also linked down below. And I will see you all very, very soon. All right, take care, everyone. Take care. Bye.